CC, CEO, wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder. I can teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you, get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black on firm, but we ain't all black.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Constance Carter. What is happening? We are here. We're live, and I am ready to talk to you. And I just need you to talk back to me and talk black to me. What's happening? What's happening? What's going on, people? All right. So you know how it is. This is a monologue and not a dialogue. This is a dialogue and not a monologue. So I love for you to talk to me. I don't want to just be talking to myself. But today we got a special guest that I'm super excited about. I'm super excited about sharing her journey. And listen, we as African Americans, we have a huge problem that is killing millions of us every single year. And I want to address that. But while you're here, what's up, Justin Rome? While you're here, put in the comments where you're from. I know we have people that are viewing from all over the world. So what's happening, Justin? Thank you for the peace sign. Listen. Let me just get right into it, because stress is a huge factor that's killing us off. And I want to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. See, wealth is not just about money. It's a holistic experience. And we as African Americans, so 1 in 2 people in America have stress. But out of all the race, there's a racial disparity among stress. African Americans have a higher percentage of stress than any other race. We got to get ourselves together. So what happens when you have stress? You have, it can lead to cardiovascular problems. It can lead to mental health disorders. It could lead to your immune system weakening, your digestive issues, weight gain, sleep disorders, skin conditions, chronic pain, respiratory problems, substance abuse, and even reproductive issues. And stress can be brought on by overwhelm, which is what we're going to talk about. So overwhelm is an entry level to stress. How many people know about emotional intelligence? Anybody here know about what emotional intelligence is? But have you heard of emotional overwhelm? That is the level 1. What's up, Bridget? That's the level 1. What's up, Joe? Thank you for putting your name in there. I don't know who's hit me from Las Vegas. Justin, where you from? Thanks for the insight on how to cope with this illness. I suffer from depression and anxiety. You know what? And black people are the least. So we are the most stressed, but we are the least to seek mental health. Only 20 mental health professionals, 25% of us actually go to some type of therapy or on some type of medication, and we end up dying at a very young age because of this mental overwhelm. Again, wealth is a holistic experience. It's not just about money. It's about all of those areas in our life. And how can we improve that? How can we live our best life? I was just talking to a family member the other day, and I was saying, hey, you know what? They have panic attacks, and it's due to stress. And I said, you know, you really probably should see somebody. And they said to me, I'm absolutely not going to see somebody because I don't want to open up, you know, some things that happened that I was traumatized by when I was younger. And I said, you know, how can you know, because she is a Jesus freak. I don't want to say Jesus freak, but she believes that, you know, that Jesus is just going to heal her, but she's not doing anything about it. And I said, you know, Jesus put these people on earth so that they can help you. A lot of times black people are so caught up in our religious beliefs that we fail to utilize the resources that God has put here for us. So we go through these things, we go through depression, we go through mental illness, we go through all of those things, but we choose not to seek help. We just sit inside of it. And so then we have these panic attacks and these anxiety attacks, and then we don't want to deal with it. And I told her, listen, you know what? If you don't do it for yourself, do it for your parents, because you have your old ass parents coming over here at nighttime so that they can be with you, because you over here having panic attacks. If you don't want to seek help for yourself, seek it for the other people who have to deal with it with you, because what's going to eventually end up happening if you keep feeling like overwhelmed and that you're going to have a heart attack and all these things and you're not dealing with the issues, it's going to end up killing you for real. Y'all, this is really, really serious. And so we need to deal with it. But there are some things that we can do while we're in emotional overwhelm to get rid of it. Okay. What's up, Judy from Chicago? That's 7 in the house. Tanya from Baltimore. Khalid from Buffalo. Justin. Oh, you already said that. Okay. So Bridget Washington from DFW. Dana, what's up, Dana? Yep, many are embarrassed to seek help. So I want to introduce you to my guest today, India E, founder of Exquisite Women Global LLC. She's an emotional strategist who's assisted many through her books and her unique online curriculum. It's important. So let me just tell you really quick about my book. And I want to tell you how books can really help you. So when I was in therapy last year, my therapist was like, hey, I read your book. And I said, oh, you did? What do you think of it? And she said, I think, why are you coming here? Because you have all the answers in your book. Tongue in cheek, right? But what I know to be true is what she told me is she said, I want you to read your book because your book has all the answers, and I want you to read your book. And what happened was, what I didn't realize is that a lot of the stuff that I had was inside of me, and it actually ended up changing me for the better. My book helped save my life. It helped change my life. And if you read books and you really understand, like India's book that she has and her unique online curriculum is there to help you deal with emotional overwhelm. Okay. It's there to help you. What she does is she's committed to assisting women to strategically overcome their emotional setbacks that prevent them from living in their personal power to pursue their dreams, goals, and visions. Through her EW Global, she addresses emotional issues in education with wit, authenticity, and unapologetically. So she has a few books out, but I really want to have an open dialogue, especially about what's going on in our community, why people are dying off. And in this time, with all of the money that we have, we are the wealthiest country on the planet. We have the most assets. We have the most material things, but we are the unhappiest. We are the most overwhelmed. We are the most stressed out. And how can we get rid of it, or how can we overcome it? So I want to bring India on. Hey, India, how you doing, Mama?
Wow. Hi, Constance. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
I'm so glad that you are on here. This is amazing. And so many of us suffer from these emotional issues, and we have a lot of people that are tuning in from all over the world. And so there are many factors, I guess, that contribute to this. Can you talk a little bit about what brought you into this space? Why are you even dealing with this?
Yes, I can. And thank you so much.
Of course.
For featuring me in the book and the message on your platform. I was born into lack think.
What does that mean? What's lack think?
Lack think. I'm not a doctor. I'm just sharing what I work with.
Hold on really quick. People are saying there's an echo. Is what? How's your volume? What's going on with your volume?
My volume
is it? I hear a slight echo too.
Let's see here.
Everybody's saying it's echoing. Echo. So I'm interested in hearing. Yep, everybody's saying there's an echo. So I'm interested in hearing what lack think is while she's fixing her volume. I want to know what lack think is. While she's doing that, I want to know, has anybody here, and you don't have to share your business or anything, but has anybody here had any issues where they've ever been overwhelmed, or where they faced something where they've dug themselves so deep, or a situation's been so deep where you just could not figure out how to get out of it, or how to navigate through? I know that okay, only echoes with you. I know that Justin said that he suffers from depression and anxiety, and how do you get past the anxiety and depression? So I'm asking you, the audience, the people who are watching, if you've ever had to face that. Let's see. Go ahead and talk, India.
Testing.
You sound fine to me. How's she sound to y'all?
Is there an echo?
I can't see the live chat. There's no echo on my side. Y'all still hear echo from India? Okay, India, what's lack think?
Lack think is when the people who they don't mean to harm you, but we pass on generational ignorance what I call the vapors. You're a kid. You don't know that what you're absorbing is generational ignorance.
Okay,
Basically.
hold on. They said you still echoing, India.
Oh
But
wow. Wow.
yeah, she said generational. Um, did you say generational ignorance?
Right.
Do me a favor, India. Why don't you get on from your can you get on from your phone?
I think so. Sure.
Let's see if you can get on from your phone, and let's see if that does anything different. So let's go to the audience. Let me ask you why while we do this. And here's the beauty of being live. You get to deal with all the technical difficulties, and I don't want to lose any of you guys because this is a very important conversation. Constant still echo. Try muting your mic. Okay, let's do that first. Let me mute my mic when you speak. Let's try that. All right, let's go. And y'all tell me if she has an echo.
Okay, how's that? Okay, I don't hear the echo anymore. Do you guys hear the echo? Okay, so lack think is basically, from my perspective, people who love you, they mean well, they're not trying to hurt you, but they inform and instruct you based on their knowledge, and their knowledge is limited. We live in an unprecedented time of information and access to that information by these devices that we are connecting on now. And I believe I've had emotional issues my entire life. Grew up in a very dysfunctional environment. Father had a brilliant man, had, a bunch of children, from a bunch of different women, just kind of grew up in a mess. And so when you grow up, and of course it's embarrassing, nobody wants to talk about it. You want to try to cover it up. You want to look fabulous so you don't reek of your emotional dysfunction. Been there, done it, like all of that. But how do we get past that? In my perspective, in my opinion, in order to get to the generational wealth, in order to be able to focus and concentrate on people such as Constance and all these brilliant people who are on the internet now sharing their expertise, we need to clear the emotional clutter. We hear about cleanses, the spring cleaning, decluttering. I'm a hyper organizer, but what do we do emotionally? How do we cleanse emotionally? How do we decipher what is effective and what is not? How do we get past, like myself? Although I am and was as a kid very smart, intelligent, but emotionally I was compromised. I like to say anorexic, with all due respect to the term. When you are intelligent, you have this, but emotionally you are anorexic, and the emotions, in my opinion, can block and set you back from your intelligent component of your existence. So we tend to, and I always put myself first here. We want to look great, and we want to have all the cosmetics in place, but emotionally we are compromised, and some, as Constance was saying in the audience, very seriously compromised. I believe, and I believe I can make the case that emotional ignorance is connected to dysfunctional relationships, excessive debt, dysfunctional politics. You can literally connect it to a lot of different areas of our lives. How do we emotionally cleanse, emotionally declutter, emotionally organize, so that we can focus, get very clear about what we want, what I call our spirit assignment, what we want, how to achieve it, and once it is achieved, how to share it, grow it, and spread it generationally. Where we can now dig in, face the embarrassment, just deal with it, just face it, just face the embarrassment of whatever the situation is. Me, dad, 20 kids, and and all that. It's just a mess. I'm born into that. How do I create my life, not because of that, but on top of that, like carving out my exquisite existence from the mess that I was born into.
Let me ask you this.
Where it comes from. That's
Let me.
where all comes from.
That's good stuff. Let me ask you this. So let's unpack that, because you said, you were born into this. Your dad was a brilliant man. He had a bunch of kids, and he did a lot of. There was, I guess, maybe some toxicity in your household or how you were raised, and there was some generational curses and emotional. I don't know if there was emotional abuse. How did you personally unpack that, the emotional overwhelm, because there are obviously things that you have to do. So what did you do? What was your journey in getting through it?
First of all, I knew I was screwed. Like, I knew I was jacked, and I knew it, and I knew that. Like, I would say the first step is acknowledgement. And that's what I say in the book. Step one, face it. Face it. I didn't do it, but I was born into it. So I've got to deal the deck that I was dealt. And that's difficult. As I used to say on my podcast, deal with the difficult real raw right now. And so the first step one, face it. Take an inventory of your life. Get very particular. Become aware of vibrations and energy. Identify what it is you want, like myself. That's why people like you, Constance, are very prominent in my mindset. I want a life that is clear and fun and fully funded, like wealthy. Like, that's what I want. Like, identify what what your goal is. That's step one. I was a avid reader of self-help books. My books are my best friends. They're like my children. So I would submit that if someone is reluctant to read it, I'm working on that book now. If someone is reluctant about reading and exploring, because the embarrassment is real. The embarrassment is like handcuffs, and it can keep you stuck and silent and fear of being exposed and all that. I never wanted anyone to know about my family and my background. I tried to hide it. I just, embarrassment was a governing energy. So how do you get beyond that? Because my spirit whispers are constantly telling me, India, you're better. Like, you've got things to do. I'll never forget someone in my family very close to me, which is one of the inspirations for this book, said, "Who do you think you are?" And I thought, you know what? India, you are exquisite. And hence the title of the book. So when you are around people that want to berate, belittle, reduce, dismiss, antagonize, and basically suppress growth by any means necessary, you're growing, they hate it, and they want to suppress it. That's the environment that I grew up in. And that's the root of my work. And following emotionally unhealthy people I believe has filled graveyards and jail cells, and I can connect it to anything. I mean, it's phenomenal. If we don't figure this out, and I believe women are the greatest force of energy on planet Earth. If we don't figure this out, how we who we choose as a mate, who you choose as your friends, um, how you designate your time, what you spend your money on. Are you political? Who do you support? All of these things have an emotional mustard seed, and the emotional mustard seed just it's like being on the floor of the ocean. You see the hurricane and you see the surface of the water base of the water, but the floor of the ocean, what's going on down there? We tend to want to go to space and the moon and Mars and all of that, but we don't explore down under. And so that is what my work is committed to and will forever be. It is about educating your emotions elevates your existence. And when your existence is elevated, now you are in the realm of the exquisite. Now, what the emotionally ignorant speak and all that, it has no impact, because I have done the inventory, pulled what does not serve me, never did serve me, and I know never will serve me, and maintain what does serve me, what nurtures me. And that is that's it's not easy. But I believe it must be done to get to the mustard seed of your existence, which I believe is exquisite.
That's actually a good point right there. You know, when I think about how people show up, it's based upon, all of the factors, all of the things that have happened in our lives. And I look at my childhood. You said your dad had 20 kids. My dad didn't have 20 kids. My dad has 4 children, but the household that I grew up in, we had 19 people living in a 3-bedroom house that was for a family of 5. It was for, my mom, dad, brother, and sister. House was for us, but we had so many people that lived with us. And the reason why was because my parents were so kind-hearted that anybody, because my parents moved to California from Arkansas. Everybody migrated from Arkansas. Then every time somebody moved to California, they lived with us. So there was so much going on in the household. I was exposed to things that I should not have been exposed to as a child. I've seen things that I should not have seen, drugs, sex, pornography, fighting, all kind of stuff. It was just a madhouse. And my parents were not participants. My parents were busy working, taking care of all these grown ass people that lived in the house, and now we're running amok. But the thing about it is, when you look at me and my brother and my sister, we're all very different. We all took it in very differently. For me being the baby, it was fun. Right? It was like, oh my God, everybody's over here and it's fun. We having fun. For my sister, she dealt with it a very different way. She hated it. She hated everybody. She hated, she hated my mom and my dad and everybody else that was in the house because, just of everything that we were exposed to. So my question to you is, like, when you have people that come from these environments and everybody's reaction is very different, how does one say that maybe holding on to really release what they've had to deal with? I've had a lot of things that have happened to me in my life, but I don't harbor it. But there are people who do, that have caused internal issues, stresses, depressions, and all of those things. And I know you said take inventory. But what is just like a very, very simple thing that I could say to, my brother or my sister, do this today so that, it'll shift something in your mind to release the toxicity that you've experienced.
Yes, what I would say, and thank you so much for sharing that, Constance. What I would say, I too, I'm third of 4 of our siblings that I know of. Of course, I have brothers and sisters that I have never met. But what I would say is learn to acquire the skill of quieting your mind. Quiet your mind. Everything starts there, and it is a skill. It takes time. Because we have, especially now, we have so much media and all of these influences and music and advertising and goals and things that we want to do. So how we shut it all off.
Let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about that, India. Let's talk about quieting your mind, because one of the things that works for me is meditation. I pray and I meditate in the morning, but sometimes I can't concentrate on meditation. And a lot of people can't get to that place where they could actually quiet their mind because there is so much going on. We have the attention span now of less than a goldfish. It's like our mindset. We can't focus on anything. That's why reels are getting shorter and shorter, and all of these things are you got to go through them. That's why TikTok is so popular, because people just kind of go through things. They don't want to sit and watch. They don't want to sit in anything. Our minds, because there's so many things coming at us. So give me the entry level thing to do to quiet your mind, because you could say that, but we're still distracted with all the noise, and a lot of people don't know how to quiet their mind. What do people do? What should people do?
Okay, when you in my case, like when I get ready for bed, like we all get ready to rest, and in that preparation to rest, in that preparation, look at and pay attention to what your rituals are. Are you bebopping? Are are you like me? I like to, I'm a news person. I've learned I cannot take in the news towards my bedtime, because it's so much going on that it inhibits my mind to get quiet. We've got to figure out the ticks, whatever our ticks are. That's why you have to take personal inventory. And even this is not necessarily active and okay, I'm taking personal inventory. No, this is like a subconscious, like, what do you knee jerk? Like, what are your knee jerk patterns? Like me, when I was younger, I would go off. If somebody came crazy, I would go the off. Like, you did not come at me crazy. Now I've learned to, okay, you know what? They might be having a bad day. Like, calm become aware of who I am emotionally. Not how many pounds do I need to lose? Not is my hair right? Not am I flossing? Am I doing this? Is my car on point? And I love all of that. I say that in the book. I love all of that. I was just looking at the Genesis GV80 coupe. I love it all. Okay. But not at the expense of my emotional health. Am I going to put myself in debt to floss, to get the car, and then be freaking out because I have a $1,200 car note that I can't handle? No. How many of us do that? How many of us buy the shoes? And don't make me turn this camera around. How many of us buy the shoes, buy the fill in the blank, whatever your fill in the blank is, buy the handbag, buying the handbag 4 figures, but you got to have the handbag. That's emotions. You've got to learn those ticks and say, no, India. Now, I love that handbag. Girl, you love that handbag, but you already know that after the emotional satisfaction of the hunt of getting the handbag, I'm going to have to deal with that on my fill in the blank, and I'm going to be short the rest of the month. And then guess what? I'm going to be angry at whoever comes at me because I'm financially stressed because I bought the damn handbag and I can't afford it. So it's like, we have to figure out our ticks. Some people, it might be hunting equipment. It might be guns. It might be shoes. It might be whoever, whatever. But how many of us have been in financial overwhelm because of something that we bought. And then we say, wow, you know what? I could really use the money that I bought that houndstooth coat. I love the houndstooth coat. Love it. The houndstooth coat is sick. But right now I could really use that 2Gs. Like that's been my life. Like I look fabulous, but emotionally I'm just totally fucked. So like you've got to be able to own it and just sit in it and just feel it. You just got to feel the embarrassment of it. You just got to just feel it. And then you begin to free yourself from it because you're having an honest, albeit quiet. Nobody has to know any of this is going on. This is an internal inventory. You're doing this work. This is your work. You see this fingerprint? That's mine. Only I have that. And you, every last one of us, have this right here, this fingerprint. And you got to follow that fingerprint. And you got to do the work for that fingerprint. And nobody can tell you how to handle your fingerprint, but it is up to you. So figure out, for me, it's like when I get ready to go to bed, actually my dog, she was 16 and a half years old. And my dog taught me this, Miss Lola. Miss Lola taught me, that dog changed my life. Get your ass ready to go to bed early. Okay, so Miss Lola would come out and be like, Mom, it's time to go to bed. Okay. So what I would do, I would just lay there and I would just lay there. I wasn't asleep, but what it helped me do was quiet my mind. And we've got to figure out, for me, it was Miss Lola. We've got to figure out how to quiet our minds so that we can unravel. See, we've got to unravel. We've got a lot of weeds that we have to clear. And like how you have to put those gloves on and you've got to pull those weeds. And sometimes that dirt gets in the glove, like it gets in the glove and the dirt is under your fingernails and the ants and the beetles and the weevils and all that crap. That's what we have to do emotionally. But I do believe on the other side of that work is harmony, is peace, and is a clarity where I can focus and I can sit with Miss Constance and I can get it. But
listen,
I would be fear-based, I would be self-doubt filled, I would be, oh Lord, I'm so embarrassed, So like we have to get past that embarrassment because we're all dealing with something. Baby, we're all dealing with something.
India, there, girl, listen, I got so many questions and I wish I could just kind of interact with you more because I'm on mute to make sure that you're heard. But there were so many things that you said that I wanted to touch on. People are dealing with so many things. People are dealing with heartbreak. People are dealing with loss. People are grieving. And so with this overwhelm that tends to take us, like I know sometimes when we go through things, we have to sit in it in order for us to learn. But what is the tools that you can give somebody who's dealing with maybe heartbreak or grief or, to get out of that? I realize that they have to take inventory. I realize they have to set goals to where they want to be. But how do you cope every day when you're dealing with, hurt or anger or confusion or the things that come along with something that has been done externally to you? Now, this is not something that's inside of you, but something that somebody has done to you. How do you deal with that? How do you get past that?
The first thing that I would say is give yourself permission to own your part in it. Like if you picked, and this is just random, I don't know, like you pick, okay, like you pick somebody and you pick based on the wrong criteria. I cannot tell you how many times like we've all heard, oh, he's cute. He's so cute. Oh, he's fine. Uh-oh, he is fine, baby. He is the tree, honey, that I want to climb. Okay, well, that's great. But see, that's the surface of the water. Remember the water, that's the surface. Underneath, see, that's not the criteria. See, I don't use that criteria to pick. See, so you have to be able to give yourself permission to own your part in it, because whatever situation you're in, you've got some percentage of it. So it's not 100 them and 0 you. See, so you have to just give yourself permission to own your part in it. So that's number one. So like this whole relationship thing, like this is a real tick of mine. Like I've been talking about this for like over 30 years. Like we pick based on external cosmetics. How does fill in the blank? I don't care if you're gay, straight. I don't care what culture you are. I could give a crap. It's universal. How do they deal when they're upset? How do they respond when they're angry? How do they respond to stress, overwhelm? What are their goals? Like it takes time to get to know someone. So, like, if we use this instantaneous, this microwave criteria of picking, well, of course we're going to be, we're going to be jacked because there's inventory that we don't know.
But let's talk about this. Let's talk about this because I like what Joan Mack said. When it comes to choosing a mate, men are good at hiding who they truly are. So you say, and I realize that what we have to do is we have to give ourselves time before we get sexually intimate with people, because then for women it's a very different response than from men. That moment when women climax, there's an attachment. When the moment when some men climax, there's a detachment. They got what they want, they on to the next. The women are like, now, but they haven't, because that person has sent their representative, and so all is that person. And then after they got done doing what they needed to do, now the real person shows up and you're like, huh? So now you're sitting here stuck in this place, in this space, because you're heartbroken because you thought that this person was who they appeared to be, and they're not really. But trying to move through that because you have so many people who are facing. I mean, I see, like, I get so many Instagram quotes and posts and reels, and it's a real thing that a lot of people are going through. People deal with narcissists, and people deal with these people with personality disorders, and people who lie and send their representatives, and they're not honest. And so those are all things, those are a lot of things that we deal with. And then especially women, when you have the ratio, the men to, especially black women and black men, right? We have the woman to man ratio being higher, and so then our pickings are slimmer, and then now the men we're chasing the men, and there's all these different societal issues. And then you have situations where the women are the breadwinners, and the dynamic is so off in this country that it's really hard to just be mentally stable because of all of the outside factors, all the things that we deal with. How do we then overcome that? Because I know you said we have to choose right, and we have to but when we find ourselves in those situations, like Joan Mack said, how do we get out of that? How do we deal with that? Because we're in emotional overwhelm, because all of the societal factors that come to play for us as women, especially black women. How do we get through that?
I would say know what you won't do from the very beginning. See, we have to realize that everyone is on their best behavior when we meet. So, like, everybody's on their best behavior. Okay, so it's like a job interview. Okay, like you walk into the job interview, you're on your best behavior. You're looking good. And so everybody's on their best behavior. Know what you won't do and know what you will do. You have your rules. You are the boss of you. That's what I want to. So we have to shift the mindset. We need to recalibrate the mindset. You are the boss. As I say on my, how crass can I be? Can I be a little? I'm sorry. I have to be a little crass right here. So if there are children listening, like hold them. But
be yourself, baby. Be yourself.
Okay. Hold on. I used to talk about this a lot on my old podcast, but look, you have the pussy. Pussy is power. We have given it away, and we are paying the price for that. We have been called bitches and hoes for 50 years. We are paying the price for that. Now, you're not a bitch or a hoe. You are exquisite. And see, that's a different mindset. So don't allow your snatch to be used as a playground. Okay? You interview fool. Okay, they're all on their best behavior. It don't matter who. I don't care if you're French, Australian, Chinese. Who gives a shit? They're all on their best behavior when they first meet you. So it takes some time. Get a Bob, get a battery operated boyfriend, and figure that out. And just look. This is simple, but it's hard. Okay, like we just have to protect our space. We have to protect our space before you do invest financially, before you do invest emotionally, before you do invest sexually. Get you a Bob and just take your time. This is what we have to do. We have given it away. And look, what has the ROI been on giving it away? Hello?
Listen.
See, we are choosing based on the wrong criteria, and then we go on Maury Povich and talk about who's the daddy when it was it's the emotional situation that we in and why we chose the fool in the first place. Why are we choosing? If you want sustainability, you want just as Cassandra Cummings said, what did she say? Survival, stability, surplus. Okay, so you want to get to the surplus. So we have to be in alignment, and we just have to take time. Just because your pussy hot, that's not love. That's lust. That don't mean shit to me that my pussy hot. He's just cute. That don't mean shit. See, we have been conditioned to think that if we get our pussy hot or our nipples get hard, that's love. That ain't got shit to do with love. It's cute, it's fun, it's aerobics, but it ain't love. Love takes time, baby. See, you are exquisite. See, when you realize you are exquisite, the criteria changes. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being unapologetic. You unapologetic. You saying, no, cowboy. Yeah, it's hot. Yeah, it's hot. But now, dude, we'll have dinner next week. And go to your apartment, go get your Bob, and go have fun. And they all on their best behavior. You have to do your inventory, baby. You have to know that you are exquisite, and you have to scrub your criteria for why you are choosing. I don't care what it is. Relationship, profession, home, car. These are universal strategies to align your emotions so that you are making choices that are sound and structured and reasoned. And this is going to take time. We have been conditioned to be reactionary. We've been conditioned to be damsels in distress. That's how they want us. They don't want us like this. They want us to be reactionary and bebop to the boom box to being called bitches and hoes, which we have been doing for 50 years. And look, and I love a good beatbox and all that. I love it. But I know who I am. And so we have to make that discernment. This is very deep work, as I say in the book. This is very serious. I'm not playing. But women we've got to cut the traditional media is very sterile. It's very polite. And sometimes you just have to just bring it hard. And that's what I do.
Well, thank you for that. When I think about, all of the things that we have access to, like my kids, these phones, and my daughter, and when I get it, the first thing most people can do is get up and they scroll through social media, and you just see all kind of ratchetness. And so there's just so much, there's men against women, young against old, man against boy. Like, there's just so much dysfunction in this world. And just like you said, I have conversations with my daughter all the time because, just being a woman in this world. Now, I have very limited dating experience because, I was married, for a very long time. And so my daughter has more dating experience than I do. So she's kind of, we're reversing the roles, but still as a mom, I'm telling her certain things about, being a lady and things like that, having those conversations. But how do we quiet the noise? Like, what do we, because we're so overwhelmed by this culture of, sex, of ratchet, of disrespect, of negativity. How do we really quiet our minds, and how do we not just quiet our minds, but how do we push all of that stuff out and release that energy that is constantly thrown at us daily?
I believe that we have to stop being impressed by it. My grandmother used to say, don't be impressed. And so I think that because everything that you just articulated and stipulated is a marketing strategy. And see, we are conditioned to be impressed. So like we see, somebody on television or a media, situation, and oh my God, I mean, we have this idol worship. I mean, we've all seen it, like you go to a concert, and like some people can enjoy the concert and enjoy the artist. I come from a family of performers, and so you enjoy the artist, and then you enjoy. And then there are some people that are like they freak out. I mean, like they are so impressed, and I think that that's part of that. Is that being able to know that we're kind of all people, and no matter what their title is, or I mean, Queen Elizabeth had to go to the toilet. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like we're so impressed. You know what I mean? They got the castle, and they got the this, and they got that. And I think that like we just have to just bring it on down and see ourselves in whatever we are looking at, and not be so impressed by it. I think that when you, instead of looking at something up here and you're here, bring yourself here, and then that way you're looking as an equal and not as a subordinate. And I think that, see, this is all about conditioning. We are so, the whole Disney thing, and the king and the prince or the princess. I mean, like we have just been. I mean, we are like overcooked broccoli.
The conditioning starts. The conditioning starts at a very, very, very young age. I think back when I was, 4 years old, when I learned that I was inferior, when I wanted the white doll over the black doll, when I, the conditioning that happened when I, thought that I was not as good as somebody else because of what I hear, the conditioning that, I heard growing up when I started listening to gangster music, gangster rap, when these guys were calling us bitches and hoes. The conditioning that we hear now when we see the young ladies that the only thing that they look at young ladies are as just objects. The conditioning that has just been permeated into our culture, unfortunately, as African Americans. One thing that Judy said is, she said, how people deal with you is how you teach them to interact with you. We don't have to go to every party we're invited to. So we don't have to interact with everybody who wants to interact with us. We don't have to be subjected to everything that people throw our way. We have to be mindful, is what I hear that you're saying, of what we accept, especially with people of the opposite sex, with just, making sure that BOB, because listen, I'm single, very single. I'm not even dating anybody. I'm just kind of like, for me, nobody really piques my interest enough for me to spend time with them, and that's just the reality of it. So I'm not a waster of time. So I don't, I'm not interested, then I'm just not even going to waste my time. That's just kind of where I am. But you do have people who, feel the need that they have to have a person. Do I get lonely sometimes? Sure, absolutely. But more importantly, my peace of mind is way more important. Getting caught up in something that doesn't serve me is not going to benefit me in the long run. So I understand that, but a lot of people we have this microwave mentality where we need what we want, what we want right now, and we don't want to wait for it. So we just have to like you were saying, be intentional about setting our principles. When you talk about quieting our minds, though, and I wanted to touch on that a little bit earlier, because there are different people in different phases. There are some times when I can quiet my mind where I can meditate for 30 minutes to an hour. There are other times when I can't do it over 30 seconds. So give me one strategy before we get out of here about how to, in a very simplistic way, quiet your mind so that you can get focused, so that you can get centered, so that you can face the day.
Every time you look in a mirror, smile and say, "You are exquisite." Every time. If it's in your car, you know, looking in the rear view. If you're at home, if you see your reflection and you walking by, you downtown, you see, no, that's right. Love yourself. Give yourself see, we do a lot of my first book. Wait a minute, where is it? Don't beat yourself up. You're already beat up. See, we do a lot of, oh, I'm overweight. Oh, my skin's bad. Oh, my hair's not right. Oh, my nails are not done. Oh, my stretch marks. Oh, my bumps and my lumps and my this and my that. And we just beat the living shit out of ourselves. And then you said something and I wrote it down. You said some people feel the need they have to have a person. That. Why? That right there. Some people feel the need they have to have a person. Why? Where's that need? See, that's the mustard seed of the need. Where is that coming from? For me, it was abandonment. So the first guy I was with, oh my God, you know, I didn't know how to deal with male affection. I thought the guy was, first guy, ankles up in the air. Woo! I'm in love. No, 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 no. So that feel the need to have a person. For me, that was born from the abandonment issues and all of that. And then being insecure and having no friends and being weird, instead of just facing the fact that I was kind of a reader and a nerd and a loner, I internalized it as, oh my God, I have no friends. I'm horrible. You just start beating the crap out of yourself. And so we have to deal with exactly what you said. Some people feel the need they have to have a person. That gets us in more trouble than anything else, because we haven't scrubbed where that need is rooted. That's what I'm saying. If it's a healthy root, great. But in a lot of cases, it's not healthy. And so, you end up, like, oh, well, she gained weight, so I filed for divorce. What? She gained weight and you filed for divorce, then you never were with her to begin with. You were with this cosmetic image of whoever you thought was, your bitch or hoe. And so that's who you looked up with. So it's like, and now she's all like, oh my God, I gained weight. I'm sorry. It's just like, we have to figure out like who we are emotionally. So as I say in the books, so you can not necessarily avoid, because we're always going to have stuff, but we learn the tools to navigate where it doesn't tank us, so that we can see an opportunity when a Constance Carter appears, so that we don't say, nah, you know what? Nah, I can't do that. Nah, I can't. No, I can't have that. No, that's not for me. Oh, the hell it ain't. It's all about how you feel about yourself. And until we clear the emotional baggage, clutter, toxicity, whatever adjective one wants to apply to that, until we clear that, we will block, we will self-sabotage, we will avoid, we will deflect, we will block opportunities to grow and to expand and to innovate. So we have to do this work, because frankly, if we don't, those who look up to us will probably be impacted even worse.
That is true. So what do you do? How do you help people, India?
I really just talk very blunt, and I think it breaks the ice. It's like, like when you say Jesus, I mean, and my father was
You
a brilliant guy.
you talking about ankles up in the air. I'm talking about your I'm talking about your program. What do you do specifically inside your program where you're helping people? I'm not talking about just, the ankles up in the air part, but like
Oh, yeah, yeah.
what's your program? How are you helping people to be
Yeah,
able to achieve this?
like we go through different scenarios, right? Like we go through different universal scenarios. In my case, the father of my daughter, this was a nice young man. I should have gotten to know him more because he had issues with depression and drug usage that, again, because he was on his best behavior, I did not see that when we came together. So we go through different scenarios, universal scenarios, and we go through the emotional ignorant lens, and then we go through the emotional educated lens, and how you approach the same scenario. Two different lenses, you've got two different situations. You elevate your existence by educating yourself emotionally.
So do you have a program that you're helping people, or do you have books, or how can they get the work? How can they help? How can you help people? What are you doing to help people?
Yes, ma'am. Currently, the books are up and live, and I'm actually putting together the digital course, literally, like as I'm talking to you now. But yes, you can go to youareexquisite.com and get the book. You Are Exquisite. And don't beat yourself. I'm trying to hold. Don't beat yourself up. You're already beat up. Is on Amazon, and how do you hold it? No matter what, know your value. No matter what, know you matter. That is up on Amazon as well. And the course is coming, and I really look forward to it. I think this is going to be serious. It's going to be fun. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. We're going to, we have to let it up. We got more room out than in, baby. We got to let it up. We got to pull the weeds. We got to pull the damn weeds and get on with our life. We should not be suffering generation after generation after generation with the same bullshit. That's ridiculous. Now there are some universalities here that I know we can, if we can just pull it up, get over the embarrassment of talking about it. Who cares? We're all dealing with some crap. Who gives a shit? So you get over the embarrassment part, and then you just start putting it on the table. Shine a bright light on it. And then we can unravel. And I have to say this. You're going to have to prune the tree, honey. It's going to be, not everybody's going to come with you, honey. Just like that person that asked me, who do you think you are? Very close to me. Very close. And you know what? I didn't say it out loud because I didn't want to show disrespect. But I said to myself, India, you are exquisite, and get the hell out of there. And so that's what you have to do. And I went home and wrote the damn book. And that's what you have to do. So, honey, you're going to have to prune the tree. Okay? And let me tell you something, honey. Biology is irrelevant. Okay? So I'm not saying it's easy. But it is part of the work.
I love that, because I always say that your hardships are the blueprint to help other people. So the things that I've gone through, I believe that what you go through, they're not just for you. They're to help somebody else, to bring somebody else along. You mentioned that earlier. Like, if you're not doing it for you, you need to do it for the other people that are looking up to you. And the fact that you, somebody told you that's something that really impacted you, and you wrote a book that's helping so many other people to be able to get through, is amazing. So kudos to you for everything you do. So how do they get on the wait list? Do you have a wait list or anything for your digital course?
Not yet. I will be creating all of that, and you can go to Exquisite Woman Media on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, and I will have it all there. And I cannot thank you guys enough for your time and your willingness to hear me out. I believe this is like root, and I believe in it so much. And I'm relentless, and I know that these principles and strategies will help because they help me. And if you knew what I've been through, you'd be proud of me.
I know that's right. So follow India on Exquisite Woman Media, at Exquisite Woman Media on her Instagram, on her Facebook, and on her YouTube. Now, let me tell you guys, India is a part of the Net 7 cohort. And I'm super proud of her. I'm super proud of you for coming and talking about your book and the things that you're doing to help. One of the things that was really important when we selected women to be a part of the cohort was to have a diverse group of women who wanted to make an impact, was to make sure that the women that were a part of the group, because everybody didn't get chosen to be a part of the Net 7 Collective. I'm gonna let you know that right now. But India and these ladies are really, really special because they're playing full out. They bring such value and such richness to the group. Every time girl, you tell them about the Net 7 Collective. Tell them what you've experienced so far, because y'all just be, last week I had to tell them, I gotta go, and don't call me. Don't nobody call me, because y'all, it's so amazing. But I want you to tell them, because I don't even want you tell them.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my, okay. First of all, it is such an honor to be a part. I remember when I first heard you years ago on Dr. Boyce's program, and I was like, oh, who is that? I mean, I love Dr. Boyce, but I was like, wait a minute. And so now to be sitting here with you a couple years later, almost 3 years later, and speaking with you and exchanging with you is like where it's proof that like I am raising my vibration to meet the space and the people that I want to be in alignment with. And so when I saw you on Instagram speaking about Net 7, I was coming out of the grocery store. My hand, this is God. My hand hit the phone, and I was like, "Wow, how did that happen?" And you were live, and I didn't even try to get you live. My hand just hit the phone, and next thing I know, my finger hit, and I must have hit the Instagram app, and there you were, and you were talking about Net 7, and the next thing I know, I was like, I mean, my fingers literally were like moving faster than my brain, and I'm like, hey, I got to be a part of this, and I just said I'll figure it out, and so with all that said, I wanted to share with the audience, and I'm just gonna pull, because like my notes are extensive, of course, and I even have a journal that I will keep for the rest of my life, yes, the Net 7 Collective has helped clarify and help me implement the strategies to package and present my product to the marketplace. So before, I'm like, I've got all these ideas. I remember telling you, like, I wrote a couple books, and I haven't done anything with, like I'm working on it. I'm passionate. I know what I've been through. It's like, it's word, you know what I mean? So it's like the Rock of Ages, but I didn't have the instrumentation of the strategy, the business structure. I remember telling you on the phone, I said, Miss Constance, I said, I think I got a lot of the puzzle pieces, but I need a map and a mentor. And that's what you have done. It is priceless.
Tell them about, some of our sessions that we have. We meet every Wednesday. So just kind of tell it, what the synergy is like amongst the other women. And I know we have, and the cool thing, let me tell you this real quick. We have so many women from the Net 7 Collective that are in the comments, that are watching you live, that are supporting you, and that's the beautiful thing about our group is that we love each other, we support each other, we cheer each other on. We right here, everybody's rooting for each other. I see them all up in the comments. I see Dana talking about good stuff. I see Vanessa giving you a hand clap. I see Brenda. I see Tanya. I see Judy. I see all these ladies in here that are part of. I see Bridget. I see Bridget. I see all these ladies in here that are part of the cohort that are sitting here supporting you, and that's the biggest thing. So all of the business strategies are great. All of the personal development is great, but what we've created inside this cohort is a group of like-minded women who celebrate one another, who push one another, who love one another, who are going in the same direction, who are sharing and caring. But let me let you tell it, because I want you to just kind of tell what our sessions look like.
You are so true. You are so right. The business structure part is baked in. What has been just a blossoming joy for me is what Constance is speaking to, and that is the connection and the community, the creation of community, the creation. I tend to be a loner, so I don't have a lot of, I don't, so that component to the Net 7 collective has been, in my opinion, priceless. Like-minded women, professional women who aspire, women who are younger, who are seasoned like myself, women who everybody has been through something. And like the last session, we were talking about our kids and and the stuff that we're going through, and I didn't anticipate that part. Oh, the accountability partner. Oh my God, I love my accountability. Hi, Tanya. I love my accountability partner. The connection and the creation of community. It's intangible. It is priceless. I feel that I have met women that, regardless of where our careers will take us, I feel like we will always be connected, and we will always be our creative community, because we have walked this together, and only we know the conversations that we've had and the connection and what it has meant to us. So I'm a wordsmith by trade, and in many ways it is kind of hard to articulate. What I would say is that if a person is chosen to be a part of Net 7, it is game changing. It is life changing. I cannot tell my story without this being a part of it.
Amazing. And we have women that from 20s to 80, from people who work 9 to 5s to PhDs. Like, it's a whole gamut. And what I tell them all the time, what I tell the ladies every time we meet, is that everyone is equally as important. There's nobody that's more important. Everybody brings a certain level of value. Everybody's opinion and everything you share is important from every single person. Sometimes you have certain people that share more than others, and then another week you'll be like, oh my God, look at who came out of their shit. And so it's just for me, because it's not about Constance Carter. It's never been about me. It's about us, right? So I'm part of that community. But for me to be able to sit on the front row and watch something that I dreamed of, right? Something that I dreamed of that manifested, but to see it walk in fruition, and just watch you guys all blossom, that's everything. Like, I can die and be happy today because of the impact that this has made, and the legs that have grown, and how you guys are all moving, and just the impact that you guys are making in each other's lives and will make in the world is it's priceless. It really is. So I love it. I have my own issues sometimes. I have my own ebbs and flows and things that I go through. And when I come to the Net 7, y'all make me feel better. I don't always have to be the strong one. I have you guys to be able to lean on. And so I love that. I love that community that we created. It's so freaking dope, and it's so amazing. And so I love you guys for it, each and every one of you. So I just wanted to, I want to be able to showcase these ladies. You know, this goes out to over 1 million people. So this has access, India has access to be exposed to over 1 million people with all the platforms that this is on. I want to give the ladies who have put so much, who work so hard, I want to give them the opportunity to be able to share their gifts, to be able to, you know, let the world know what it is that they're doing. I encourage that. So I'm so glad that you have the opportunity to do that today. I'm so glad that we have the platform to be able to do that. You are absolutely amazing, and what you are doing in this world is going to be noticed in the world, in the entire world. So I'm proud of you, India. We have more women that are going to be coming on, that are going to be sharing their gifts, their businesses. And, you know, I am recruiting for the next cohort of Net 7 Collective, which is going to be starting at the end of November. You know, we halfway done almost, you guys, halfway done with this cohort. And I love y'all so much that, you know, it's not going to end. So we'll still be getting together, and we'll still be a community, just like our first cohort, which is great. So if anybody is interested in being part of the Net 7 Collective, you can go to bookwithconstance.com. I'm doing one-on-one interviews, and we're talking about it. And you know, we're getting people set up for the next one, and then we are going to have a retreat in St. Martin in April, which I'm really excited about, and I haven't even rolled it out to the masses as of yet, because, you know, I want the ladies of Net 7 to be able to take advantage of it first. In any case, I want to just thank you again, India, for coming on here. You've been exquisite. I love you. I love all of y'all. You guys are extremely dope and beautiful and powerful. And everyone out here, make sure you share. Make sure you follow India. What's your handle again, India?
At Exquisite Woman Media.
Exquisite women. Oh, look at Kenya's on here now. Listen. The ladies is showing up for you. The ladies is showing up for you, India. They love you. Tanya is showing up for you. Brenda is showing up for you. Bridget is showing up for you. These are the Net 7 ladies. Vanessa, Dana. I just want to shout y'all out. I seen Judy up there. I seen Bridget. Bridget, excuse me. We have a Bridget and we have a Bridget. Judy. Did I see anybody else from Net 7? I want to recognize all the ladies who are on here supporting their sister today. Thank you guys for showing up. And see, there's a lot of people on here, so FYI. But go ahead and make sure you follow India. Make sure you're following I Am Constance Carter on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Constance Carter, the Fly Nubian Queen. Guess what? I love you. I really do, in real life, for real.